Hello, hello, hello. We're back again. Back again. Like we've ever been away. We're doing Queen. We're still doing Queen. It's the 11th studio album released. Oh, it's caught. It's caught my eye then. Released 27th of February, 1984. There we go. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Um, wow, wow! What a great return to form after the stinker that was Hot Space. Again, the idea was to give the fans the works. A comment that Roger Taylor made when they made. We went into the studio to make the album initially. For me, it's an important one because when I was well, I guess I'd have been 13 back then. Yeah, 13. I got this one. I had my greatest hits tape, and I had this one, and that was a fun time. It was when I first. Well, again, I was into Queen a lot earlier than that because I remember, like I say, La Palabras de Amor on Top of the Pops, and and enjoying that one. And I must have had the greatest hits tape back then. But I think this was the first album. I didn't buy Hot Space. No, absolutely not. When it came out, but I know I got this one when it came out. And it's a great record, and it holds such fond memories. And I'll tell the story again. Christmas 1984, I was taken in to hospital. I had pneumonia and close to dying, and I had this tape and greatest hits with me in my little uh, cassette Walkman, my Panasonic cassette Walkman that I had, and yeah, it got me through. It got me through those times. So it's an important record, a very important record to me. So largely positive review, but it's a strong album. It's a really strong album. It weighs in at a lean 37 minutes 15 seconds, and it opens with Radio Gaga, a Roger Taylor song, and boy, what a song! And again, I hear it. The missus has 80s tunes on. She has these playlists and 80s radio or greatest hits radio, whatever. And Radio Gaga is always on, and I never get fed up with it. If it's Deacon Blue, turn it off. If it's Come On Eileen, I nearly did. Um, get it out of here. But Radio Gaga gets a it gets a pass. Um, it's got synthesizers, an interesting synthesizer hook line, and this way it shows you the band can use electronic instruments and retain their sound and retained who they are as a band, unlike Hot Space where it just frankly didn't sound like them. Here they find that happy combination, and it's a very strong combined with the video, which uses clips from Metropolis. And at the time, Freddie Mercury made a deal with Giorgio Moroder, who owned the rights to Metropolis, that he'd work on the film, the soundtrack to the Metropolis film, which was re-released around the same time, but had a rock soundtrack, and Freddie Mercury contributed to that on the proviso that they could use clips in Radio Gaga. So that's how it works, and that's why it's such an iconic video, and that's why it's all wonderful. Second track up is "Tear It Up," written by Brian May. It's a rock song. It's a great rock song. I like it. It's really good. It's got a really good hook, and it's exactly what you want from a Brian May rock song. This is followed by "It's a Hard Life." Um, it's a ballad. It's a really well written ballad. It has a very and the video. It Freddie Mercury's dressed like a giant prawn, I believe. I think that's how it was once described. The opening, the introduction to the song is lifted from, and I'm going to mangle his name, Ruggiero Leoncavallo's "Vesti la Giabba" from the opera Pagliacci. That's easy for you to say. Gesundheit. And they lift it. I mean, I've heard that on classic FM. You can hear it. It's operatic, and they nick it and use it. And good because there's no copyright there. Because I imagine Ruggiero Leoncavallo has been dead for a long time, Let's see when he died. Wikipedia is a wonderful thing. Um, 1919. I'd imagine it would have been out of copyright by then. But yeah, Pagliacci is his most famous work. And again, Freddie Mercury was very cultured. He liked the opera. He liked A Night at the Opera. Let's see what I did there. And yeah, it's a good one. I really like it. The only weak track on the album is Man on the Prowl. It's a kind of it's almost like an Elvis rockabilly. You know, I imagine he sang with his lip curled track. I mean, it's not a bad song. It's just I don't like that style of music. I mean, again, it's Queen nicking a genre. We're going to do this. We're going to do Elvis, and pulling it off brilliantly. But I'm not a fan of the song because I don't. It's just ding a ding a ding a ding, do 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 do. It's a bit, cheesy. I don't know, but it's really it's a good song. I just don't like it, and it's noted for is it Fred Mandel as their piano player because he plays the end bit. An interesting thing, we're going back to wankered tapes again. The tape on this song, it cuts out, it goes. Brrr. Now, for years, I thought it was my cassette again, but I didn't want to take it back because, well, I like my cassette, and I didn't want to take it back. And it was only when I got it on CD a few years later that I realised that that's how it actually ended. The tape runs out. You hear it kind of go Brrr at the end, and it's meant to be like that. Did you know that? No, I guess you didn't. You weren't paying attention. But I did. We flip over the album, Machines or Back to Humans, which is probably one of my favourite tracks on the record. It's another Roger Taylor thing. The idea of the machines are taking over. Now, you've got to remember, 1984, it was the year of, 1984, George Orwell. Whilst it isn't Orwellian as such, we were at the cusp of technology, this move towards computers being used in everything. They're seeing it in the studio with the synthesizers that they had. We were seeing the home computer market. Computers were becoming more commonplace. Again, it's funny what kids now, they must, they grow up with mobile phones, which are like very powerful handheld computers from like Star Trek. And that's commonplace. But back then, computers were still a new thing. And this is Queen, looking at a dystopian future where the machines have taken over. And I just love it. I love all the references to random access memories and everything, and megabits and megabytes, mega chips for tea or whatever it was. I think it's great, and I love the synthesizer on it, and is it a Fairlight on there? Just love it, and the guitar. There's some really good guitar in there as well from Brian May. Excellent bass playing. It's just it's one of my favourites. Always like that one. This is followed by another massive hit, I Want to Break Free. Of course, the video where they're aping Coronation Street, and left me very confused for many years. Roger Taylor in a short skirt. I was confused, very confused. Love the track. It's a John Deacon song. Used by the South Africans. Remember they got told off for playing Sun City. Well, wasn't it an irony that the ANC actually adopted "I Want to Break Free" as one of their songs? It's funny how music works, isn't it? Yeah, it's a fucking great song. Though the interesting thing is the solo isn't a guitar solo. It's a synthesizer solo played by Fred Mandel again, because Deacon didn't want a guitar solo. I always thought it was like a guitar synthesizer, because Mandel's playing is very expressive. He's on the pitch wheel, and it sounds like he's doing bends and everything with it. So it's very expressive playing. I mean, Brian May ends up playing the solo when they do it live on the guitar. So I don't understand why John Deacon would they could have done it with a guitar synth, I think. But yes, a great song. Interesting thing is this is probably the only time where the single edit is longer than the album edit. There's an extra couple of bars on the instrumental middle eight section after the guitar bit. They basically repeat that section again, but without the guitar solo, with an emphasis on the synthesizers in the background. So you get it slightly extended. You get a shorter version here. Keep passing the open windows is a bit of a deep cut. It's a song of theirs that was um, kind of buried. I mean, I don't think they ever played it live. At the time, the band were meant to be doing a soundtrack to Hotel New Hampshire, booked by John Irving. It's the film's. I don't think it's that good. I remember seeing it. Is it the one with who's in it? Isn't that one where what's his name's in it and he's cut out of it? Oh, um, oh God, what actor was it? Oh God, edit this out, Darren. It's a major brain fart. Was it Bruce Willis? Was it someone like Bruce Willis was in it, and they were edited out? I know there's a famous actor that was meant to be in it, and they filmed their scenes, but it was edited out. But Natasha Kinski's in it. Who remembers Natasha Kinski? It was the 80s. Those were the days. Those were the days. Um, but yeah, they didn't end up doing that, and so we keep passing the open windows. But it's a great song. It's a really good song. A little bit long. I think it could have been edited, but this is the band throwing everything at it. This is the works because everything they do, like stylistically, is in that song, and it's a good song. And I often forget about it. And every time I put the album on, I remember it and go, "Oh, I really like that song." But it's funny how there's like a little bit of a disconnect there. Um, Hammer to Fall is another Brian May song, and it was again released as a single. It's a big, ridiculous single. Isn't it about Russia and communism? Because the hammer to fall, and it did. So could it be that Brian May predicted the fall of communism and the Berlin Wall? But it's a good old rocker. That's it. The album ends with "Is This a World We Created?" and they preempted Live Aid and Band Aid. They saw what was going on in Africa, and they wrote this song. It's a Mercury May co-write, and I think it's a beautiful end to the album. And I don't know, it always just felt like a perfect ending because it's a really kind of loud, brash, you know, accelerated kind of record. There's no slow bits. It's always, it's all pretty straight ahead, and then we just get this lovely end. If that had been anywhere else on the album, it wouldn't have worked. But they put it at the end, and it just, really good. And they played that one live a lot as well. I think it's again for me. I think it's a classic album. I think it's up there. I think it's one of those ones that if you want to look at the Queen in the '80s, this is the one you get. So let's have a look at the reissue. There you go. See, look, reference to machines and Metropolis. See the cogs. Are we mere cogs in the machine? We have the inner bag, the lyrics, so you can sing along. Very nice red there, very royal. And the vinyl this time is, of course, it had to be red vinyl as well, didn't it? Look at that. Well, I've ruined it now, I've touched it. But yeah, I just think it's a great record. I love it. It has a place in my heart, and it is ingrained in my DNA. That's the record. And it was a good time because I was always looking forward to seeing when the next video was coming out, and there'd be some stills in the newspaper. The tabloids would say, "Oh, Queen have got a new video, and here's from the set and everything," and it was just an exciting time. It's really, really good, and yeah, and that was that, and that's why I like this video. Oh, got to do the thumbnail. I always forget. Let's do the thumbnail. I'm going to thumbs it up this time so everyone knows. I think that should do it. I think that was perfect. Anyway, thanks for watching. There'll be another one along in a minute. And that one is A Kind of Magic, which is a soundtrack, but it isn't. How so? Find out. That's like a cliffhanger. You see what I did there? Cliffhanger. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, there's nothing I can do about it. Ta-da!